If you want to learn how to clean out your closet for the next season, I've got some great tips for you in this video. So this one is going to be part 1, which will explain to you how to go through everything in your closet and figure out what to keep and what not to keep. And then the next video, which will be next week, part 2, and that will be about how to get everything organized in your closet and make it look pretty. Hey there, my name is Jamie with Your Guide to Style, and today I want to share with you some tips on how to get your closet ready for fall. And I have spent a lot of years helping women clean out their closet. So I have learned a lot along the way, and I have some great tips for you. So I hope that you will take these and they will be helpful if you want to go through this process. So the first thing I want to touch on is, why in the world do you want to do this? So the first thing that I think of why you would want to do this is to stay organized. And I am not very organized, so I have to do this each season just to keep myself together and know what I have in my closet. And then you want to feel good about going into your closet. You don't want it to be a mess. Like when I walk into my closet and it's a mess, I just want to get out of my closet. So this is a place that we go to get dressed and pull our outfits each day, and it just helps for it to look better. And then the third one is, it helps you figure out what in the world you need to either replace or put into your wardrobe, because maybe you have something that you love in your closet, but you haven't found the right thing to wear with it yet. So this will help you just kind of know all of the things that you need to do to make it a good, versatile wardrobe for the season. And the things that you are going to need to do this, I'm going to give you a list of things that you can do to prepare before you do this. So the first thing is, you're going to need trash bags or a bin to put stuff in. You're going to make piles, and you need something to put the things in those piles. So whatever works for you. I usually do trash bags. And then you're going to need something to label those piles so you know what they are, and you don't have to keep guessing, because you can have 4 or 5 or 6 piles going if you have a lot of stuff. So label them. Either do a piece of paper and a Sharpie and stick it on the floor by them, or you can physically label them with, taping it to them and writing on the actual bin or trash bag. And then the third thing is something to write on, because you will want to take notes when you go through things, whether something needs to be replaced or whether you need to add something. Anything that comes up that you need to remember, you can write it down or put it in, an app in your phone that's a note app, whatever you choose. So step 1 for this is to gather all of those materials. You want to have all of those things ready before you get started, so you don't have to run around. This will definitely create some efficiency when you do this. And then you're going to make your piles. Start with some basic ones like donate, resell, and trash, because you're definitely going to donate stuff. You'll probably throw stuff away, and there may be things that you want to resell. So those are definite things that people have done. You might want to create a replacement pile, which you can go through at the end and figure out what you want to replace that with. Say it's a white cami and it's really old and you need a new one, you would put that in a replacement pile, but you may not get rid of it just yet until you find the replacement. So if that makes sense to you, that's what the replacement pile is for. And then you might have a repurpose file that you want to repurpose an item for something. Say it's something you used to wear a lot, it's worn out, and now you could just wear it to work out or gardening or whatever it is, then you can repurpose it. And then you might have things in your closet that need to be altered, that you never got altered. You would put them in a separate pile. And then anything that needs to be cleaned, whether it's dry cleaned or washed, you will also put in a pile, because it's amazing how many things we wear, we put in our closet and we don't think about it. We don't pull them out later. You might wear a jacket, a denim jacket, over and over again, and then you pull it out and notice it has a stain on it that you never saw before. This has happened many, many times. So you would just want to clean it before you put it back in your closet so it's ready. And then anything that needs to be steamed. So if it's wrinkled and you never dealt with it, go ahead and pull it out and get that done before you put it back in your closet. One thing I wanted to add about your different piles is that if you, instead of throwing something away, if you want to recycle it, you could find a retailer near you that would possibly take those things in and recycle them. I know H&M does that sometimes, at least I thought they did. You'll have to check into that. And I know Madewell does that with jeans, and they'll actually give you a discount. I think H&M will give you a discount as well. and they'll recycle the clothing as opposed to just throwing it away. So that is a great option if you are interested in doing something like that. So step 2 is to separate your clothing into seasons. Before you even get started, you have all your materials, you have your piles. Now you want to separate your clothes. So you want a spring and summer season and a fall winter season. And the reason why I do this is because it makes it so much easier to go by seasons. Most of the time in the fall and winter, you're not going to wear anything spring and summer. And if you do, you can go to that spring and summer season and look at it. But you separate these things and you can keep them in your closet if you don't have room to put them somewhere else. Some people have really small closets, but they have a lot of closets, so they just switch them. And during a transitional season, switching that does become a little bit more difficult, so you would slowly switch them. So if you pulled something from the fall and wore it, you would stick it in, and then anything in your spring and summer that you didn't wear, you would just pull it out. And that way you have your transitional things, and as you stopped wearing them, you could move them, if that makes sense. That's a good way to stay organized and not have too much to overwhelm you and figure out. So do separate them into seasons. And then right now you would just evaluate fall. You wouldn't even think about spring and summer because there's no need. You will do that at the end of winter before spring and summer starts. So you'll start with your fall pieces. So now, after you've separated them, we're going to evaluate each piece of that fall season. So that is step 3. So you are going to go through each piece and figure out what you need to do with it. Some of these are going to be essential pieces that you will have around for longer, and some of them will be what I call stylish additions. So anything that's trending, anything that is just something you don't wear all the time, but it's something that you love to have. So you're going to go through each piece and you're going to do an evaluation of them. So I have 7 questions for you that will help you go through this evaluation process. The first question you want to ask yourself about an item is it in good condition? This will determine whether you move forward or not. So if it's not in good condition, then you can probably get rid of it. If it has holes in it, if it's just gently worn, but you know you won't wear it, you could donate it. So just make those decisions as you go. If it is in good condition, the next question you can ask yourself is, how long have I had this item? If you've had it for a long time and it's in good condition, the next thing you need to ask is, how long has it been since I have worn this item? So you have to evaluate these things because they will help you make those decisions without having any emotional attachment. And I will say, if you have emotional attachment to some items in your closet, that is okay. And if you don't want to get rid of them, just put them in a separate pile. So then you would make a pile that says things I love, and you would put them separately because you know you don't really wear them. They're in decent condition. Maybe they're going to come back in style. So the next question is the item still in style? If it is and you wear it, say you have a dark pair of skinny jeans, you've had them for 5 years and you still wear them and they're still in good condition because some jeans last that long, then you would keep them. If they're not in good condition and you have not worn them, you would get rid of them probably, unless you have that emotional attachment and you think they're going to come back and you think you'll wear them again. So question number 5 is the item the right size? Does it still fit me? Is it too big? Is it too small? If you don't know, make a separate try-on pile and try things on at the end and then figure out what you need to do with them, because there are some things in our closet that we go, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I had these. I haven't tried these on in years. So you'd want to try them on, but make a different pile and do that after you go through it. But if you know it's not the right size and you've just been hanging on to it and you've had it for 10 years and you've never gotten back into it, you might want to think about parting with it unless you have that emotional attachment to it. So number 6, how many other things do I have that are like this item? Because with our shopping habits, a lot of times we buy the same things because we have the same taste. So you might have 5 black blouses and not realize it by the end. So this is why we do this evaluation. So say you have 5 white camisoles. You only wear one. You could get rid of the other 4, and that just helps you to declutter. And you probably don't realize these things are going on if you have never gone through your stuff, because we just have a tendency to throw things in drawers or throw things in our closet and just not think about them again. And so then number 7 doesn't have any sentimental value. And there are things that you're going to have that have sentimental value. I have a blouse that I wore at my rehearsal dinner, and I have never gotten rid of it. I've been married 17 years. It is still hanging in a garment bag in my closet, and I still pull it out and look at it. So if there are things that have sentimental value, make a pile and put them in a separate place. A lot of these things we never wear again, so cover them with a dress bag. You can get them at Amazon or IKEA to keep them nice, but put them in a separate area. You can put them in a separate closet and just, make a pile and label it, whatever, however it helps you to remember this, or you can just keep it in your closet, just put it separate from all your current season stuff that you're going to wear. And so that is okay if you have that. And this evaluation is very personal. No one can tell you what you need to keep and what you don't need to keep. It's really up to you. But these are some questions that you can ask yourself that will help you make that decision of whether or not you should keep it or not. So I do think that if you have sentimental value on something or an emotional attachment to something, then if you get rid of it, you're probably going to regret it. So it's just best to keep it and then put it somewhere safe. And so I also want to mention that I had someone, and this is not something everyone thinks about, but I had a client one time that repurposed some things for Halloween. So if there's anything that you have that could be repurposed for parties or anything like that, you could put it in a separate pile. She put it in her attic and, had them for when Halloween came around because her family was really big into Halloween. So anything that you have like that, especially if it's been years since you've gone through your closet, just think about it and think about what you can do with it. And this is the first video that I'm doing. I am going to do another video that will come right after this one, that's part 2, that is going to be about how to organize everything in your closet. Once you go through it, once you make your piles, now what do you do with it? So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope these tips help you go through things and get organized for the season. And thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time.